Hi, everyone, and welcome to another round of the Edward Jones Chatting Cage. I am JB here in this studio, and in the studio right next to me on the screen anyway, Johnny Damon, folks. No more introduction needed than that. Johnny, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How's everything with you today, buddy?
I'm super stoked because otherwise it's just me hanging out, and you came in, so now the fans are fired up, and we have lots to talk about. So we will do that over the course of the next Chatting Cage. For those that don't know, I will walk you through a preview of how the show works. Get your device fired up, talk to Johnny directly, get me out of the process. It's best for everybody that way. In the meantime, I will read your questions if you can't get your device fired up, either on the MLB Fans app in the comments section or hashtag Chatting Cage, and I'll read those out, and I'll do my best impersonation of you as I can. We're going to go to that MLB Fans app, and I like this one. There's a lot of questions about managers and people that influenced you. Ace Rafferty wants to know, Johnny, looking back on your career, who gave you the most positive influence as either a manager or a coach?
Wow, that's a very great question. I've played for so many great managers, but I have to say Grady Little. I mean, just the way he went about his business and how when they introduced him as manager for the Red Sox, everybody stood up and started clapping. I mean, this guy was amazing. And, I feel like he got a horrible rap as far as what went down in 2003, but Grady Little is just awesome.
All right, well, thanks, Ace, for that question. There you go, folks, just like that. That's how the cage works. Great question from Johnny. As we understand, it was Grady Little of all those managers that get the nod there from Johnny Damon. This is the Edward Jones Chatting Cage. You can join us like this fan right here. Get your device fired up. What's your name? What's your question for Johnny?
I'm Austin, and this is my brother Spencer, and we want to know who is your least favorite pitcher to face?
Oh, that's a very good question. Who is my favorite pitcher to face? Really none of them, because they're all trying to get me out. But for some reason I had success against Roy Halladay, Felix Hernandez, to name a few. And so yeah, I don't really like to face pitchers, but those two guys are considered some of the best of all time, and for some reason my average and my production is pretty good against them.
Now on that, I'm going to follow up for Austin and Spencer, who are clearly on the road, by the way. And as I've said before, folks, don't chat in cage and drive. It's not safe. Make sure somebody else is driving. I'm going to follow up for them, though. Is there somebody that stands out as your least favorite? Like you maybe wanted to take a day off, perhaps, if they were on the mound?
Well, yeah, it's got to be Chris Sale. I mean, he's so nasty, and fortunately for me, I was getting to the tail end of my career, and the managers were smart and made sure that whenever Chris Sale was pitching as well, I was just watching and admiring and seeing what he's doing now. 1,500 strikeouts, the quickest, fastest ever to do so. I mean, the kid's pretty special.
He is phenomenally special, and one of the best pitchers going right now is an AL Cy Young race. Is going to be good here in 2017. Johnny Damon's taking your questions, folks. Not all afternoon, so get fired up and get part of the show like this fan right here. What's your name? What's your question for Johnny?
My name is Nicholas Topo. I'm sorry I can't get in the camera right now. And how does it feel to be a world champion, Johnny?
Oh, great question, Nicholas. Being a world champion is the reason why I wanted to play baseball. The stats and everything are great, but that team camaraderie, the coming together, the depending on your teammates. Like I said, as a kid, being a champion was all I dreamed about, and I was fortunate enough to do it twice and do it in such great locations such as Boston and New York.
No doubt, two great organizations. If you're going to do it, Johnny, with two different organizations, you did a pretty good ones.
Yeah, absolutely. I wish I had a few more years on me. If I added the Cubs to that resume, that would have been pretty special as well.
Pretty remarkable indeed, no doubt. It would have been a fun time for everybody. I'm going to go now to Twitter. Hashtag is Chatting Cage, folks. Also, fire up your device and talk to Johnny directly. This is from somebody else in one of those other organizations you played for. This is from Rays Rally Crew, obviously part of the Rays. Johnny, what was the best part about being part of the Rays organization?
Well, I felt like I was pseudo manager, pseudo coach there. I was the old guy there, so I felt very refreshed to, be able to be in a smaller market but closer to home, and the way these kids looked up to me to try to help lead that team to victory, and just the stuff that we did after we won a baseball game. You know, we would light up a sign in the clubhouse. We would pass out a wrestling belt to the guy who played the absolute best. So, you know, it brought that fun kid side of the game back, and I absolutely loved it.
That's right. You, the grizzled veteran on that side of that team.
That's right.
It was a fun time. I remember as a fan rooting on those Rays in that era. This is the Edward Jones Chatting Cage. That is Johnny Damon, another fan, joins us. What's your name? What's your question for Johnny?
Hi, I'm Emily. What's the best part about retirement?
Oh, a great question. The best part of retirement is just not having that daily grind. So I can pick and choose whatever schedule I want to have. I've been blessed to have 8 great kids, 2 that I just sent off to college this year, 1 that just turned 1. So enjoying just being around them. I mean, that's the big reason why I'm trying to stay in shape. So, you know, I do a lot of swimming, play soccer, and I get my fair share of golf in. So retirement's been great for me, and I'm going to continue to enjoy it.
It sounds like you have plenty to keep you busy, as it were, and then the fun thing, the golf. Golf is a pretty good strategy.
Absolutely.
In retirement. We'll look back now. It's looking forward. Let's look back a little bit. The EDJ question of the day. Johnny, what's your fondest memory from your playing days?
Fondest memories is winning the championships. You know, I think Boston is at the top of the list because after 86 years, and just how our team came together. You know, Boston was a place where they expected to lose, and then you brought in a number of guys. You know, back then, idiots, so-called it. You know, we went out, we played the game, we respected the game, we cared for each other, and just how we came back and the togetherness is something that I will always remember. And you never want to forget about championships. So winning in 2009 with the Yankees, I mean, it made that move justifiable, because if I would have came to New York and not leave a mark on the city, it just wouldn't feel right. So I'm glad it worked out in both places and got the last championship for Mr. Steinbrenner.
Thanks for sharing that, Johnny. That was the EDJ question of the day. Folks, we got a few more minutes here with Johnny before we have to say goodbye to him. He's a very busy retired man, so we have to let him get on his way. But the MLB Fans app is a great way to do it. Get your comments in or fire your device up, or use the hashtag Chatting Cage, and I will find it on Twitter. And this is a follow-up to the retirement golfing question. This is from Andy Apgar. Wants to know, Johnny, who in Major League Baseball can outdrive you off the tee box?
Oh, well, I think you can. Great question, Andy. And by the way, I've missed you, buddy. Hope to see you soon. I think most of Major League Baseball can outdrive me, but my putting skills and my short game is getting me on track. So before this summer started, I was around a 16 handicap. I'm down to a 12 now, and I plan to be in single digits soon. Just need to be a little more consistent and longer with the drive, and once that happens, watch out.
There we go. Great question from Andy. Johnny's working on getting that handicap down. Also, we know where he fits in the best ball team, as we want to get him in the short game. So we have a strategy going forward as well. It's the Edward Jones Chatting Cage. A fan joins us. What's your name? What's your question for Johnny?
Hi, I'm Joe from New York, and Johnny, my question is, who was your role model growing up when you were a kid?
That's a great question. Well, my parents really instilled great values into me. My mom worked so hard, and my dad as well. So as a young kid, I had to learn how to cook. I had to learn how to do a lot of things on my own and take care of myself. But if you're looking into the baseball world, you know, my high school coaches were all special, from Coach Barefoot to Coach Alley, to Coach Carlson, and then, you know, the heroes that I looked up to, George Brett was the man, and Cal Ripken, Kirby Puckett. So I had a lot of guys I looked up to, and when I was able to play on the same field as those last 3 I mentioned, it was a special moment. Didn't get to play with George, but got to meet him a number of times.
Outstanding. Joe, thanks for joining us. And Johnny, thanks for letting us get a little insight there into who helped you become such a great player and a great person. We continue the Edward Jones chatting cage. I go back to the MLB Fans app. This is from Lefty One. Johnny, and then I'll tweak a little bit. He wants to know, in one word, can you describe Aaron Judge? And then I'll ask, after that one word, what else about him have you noticed that's so special? So what's your one word for Aaron Judge?
Special, specimen. There's really not one word you can say. I mean, what a tremendous rookie season he's having. Yeah, he could be a little bit tired, but that baseball season is an absolute grind, and I'm glad that the Yankees are doing the right thing and giving him a couple of days off, and I think he's back in the lineup today, but he's going to be the next superstar in New York City.
Excellently done there, special and specimen without a doubt. He is an enormous human being who plays baseball very well, in case you haven't noticed that. This is the Edward Jones chatting cage. Another fan is here to ask Johnny a question. What's your name? What's your question?
Hi. Hey, Johnny. My name's Brendan from Warwick, and I was just wondering, like, when you were a kid, what sports did you play when you were young?
The sports that I played when I was young was soccer and track. I gave football a try, but I was just a bad tackler. They wanted me to be free safety, and I was like, I could catch anything and I could take a hit, but those guys in football, deserve a lot of credit for what they're doing. But I absolutely loved running track. I mean, going out there as big and strong as I was, and looking a little bit out of place at times at like the state meets and everything, and going out and do my business. So, I finished 5th in the state in the 100 meters and 2nd in the 200. So going out there and doing my thing was a special moment for me.
In those speed races, obviously, you were a sprinter, huh?
Yes, sir.
All right, yeah, it might have led to some of those stolen bases. Go figure, folks. Also, Brendan, thanks for joining us. And we didn't get to see the bottom of it, but congratulations on whatever basketball trophy that was that you got into that shot. Well played, sir. I admire that. Before we say goodbye to Johnny, this will go back to NC Lamido 76. Very simply, Johnny, who's your favorite player of all time?
It's got to be George Brett. Being born just outside of Kansas City and living in Florida, I didn't really have a team to root for in Florida, and George Brett was obviously probably one of the best things going at the time, and so George Brett.
George Brett is a outstanding answer, one of the great baseball players of all time, without a doubt. Johnny, you got a lot going on. I know you're busy today. I want to thank you for hanging out with fans. Did you have a good time?
Oh, I had a great time.
All right, man.
Thanks for the questions. Yeah.
Sure thing. Thank you, guys, and especially fans that joined live, making my job so very simple. I want to appreciate you, as always, and thank you for being part of the show. You make the Edward Jones Chatting Cage incredible. Johnny, thank you. We'll see you on the next round of the Edward Jones Chatting Cage.